guys, what's up? Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. Today's video is gonna be interesting, I guess. We're gonna make one of these. Pretty. Love it. I lined mine. See, line. I put a zipper in this one. But anyways, we're gonna make a granny square bag. Easy, simple, nothing crazy. However, because I haven't yet, we're gonna use the yarn everybody's used and reviewed, the Red Heart Granny Square. I have not used it, I have not tried it, but I want to. So here we go. So I have several colors. We've got the green, we've got the other green, I've got purple, and we'll just stack them, purple and a blue and this color, whatever this is. They're all fun, they're all pretty, they'll all make great bags. But seeing as it's February and almost March, and my next market is St. Patrick's Day themed, I figured we should make the green. It'll match everything else I'm working on, so yeah, we're gonna do that. But, getting stuck to things. Let me set this back, because it's heavy, and I don't want it on my lap. To be honest, I have no idea how easy this will be. I can make granny squares, no problem. Easy peasy, done in a flash. However, I have watched several people try to use this, and it's been varied results. Some of it's really good, some people have a lot of trouble, and it really depends on how you make your granny squares. I learned how to make them from Passionate Kelsey. She put a thing right here. She's the one who I followed to do granny squares. I still use her method of making them, and I am aware that when she used this yarn, she had to do some modifications to make it work. So I am going to assume I'm gonna have to do the same, but I guess we'll find out together. So without further ado, let's make a bag. Oh, and the only other thing, she makes her straps and everything out of, because she made a bag, Kelsey made a bag using this yarn, just a different color. And she ended up using acrylic for her straps and everything. I am not going to do that. I am going to use a sage green cotton yarn that I have. I know this doesn't look sage green on camera, but trust me, it is. It's sage, it's not neon. Anyways, I'm going to use a cotton yarn to do all of my straps, and then I will be lining it with some really pretty, I think it's green and gold. Yeah, we're going to use the green and gold. I have green and gold fabric that we'll use with it. And yeah, hopefully I can finish it in the next, I mean, if I can't finish it in the next 2 weeks, I've got a whole other set of problems. But we should be able to finish it to have it ready for our market. I also, just as an aside, am making another virus shawl, so that should be fun. I love this color. And I'm also making another virus poncho at the same time. So I'll be honest, we're not putting full effort into this right now. But we're trying, and that's what matters. So we are going to switch views, and we are going to see if we can figure this out. I think it already gives us a center pull, so that's fun. But yeah, we'll figure it out, see how it works, and if we can make a granny square. Okay, so according to the... Move my Gatorade out of the way. According to the skein of yarn, words are hard. We're supposed to use a 5.5. So, woo, can we focus? Can we? Oh, maybe. We've got a 5.5. You can read that. It's just a clover. So, I'm gonna try it the way I normally would and see how we get along. I'm not sure though, because like it seems like this is a really long piece before it changes colors. So I'm nervous. We'll leave a tail. Like I said, the form that I do comes from Passionate Kelsey, so we'll see how that goes. All right. I wonder, you guys might be too far away. We might need to bring you down a little, but we'll see. So far it looks like we're doing good. We finished the first color and are right at the second. So I guess we'll keep going and hope our luck holds. Okay, I have one singular complaint so far. The color changes are so freaking subtle in this beginning section that I'm genuinely not sure if I'm at a color change or not. Like, I think I am, but I'm not sure. We're just gonna keep going. That's all. Okay, so this is the first instance where I'm going to need to frog it, I think, and then tighten up my tension to come back through, because we definitely hit this color change too soon. We still have another cluster of 3 plus the chain. There's no way that's going to do it, and it's going to look weird having that really dark green. So I'm going to frog it, do it again, hopefully with a tighter tension, and see if that fixes it. Okay, so we got it, but I now 100% understand what everybody was saying when it comes to, like, you're probably gonna have to frog and then, like, redo it, possibly a couple times, messing with your tension to get it to work correctly, but we got it. And so far, the colors are great. Like, I love this color pattern already. And then the dark green is going to just be perfect. So, let's finish it. Let's see if we can keep going with, like, a moderately tight tension. And see if we finish it out okay. Okay, so we have the same issue again. I'm gonna need to frog it back, tighten up my tension going around, and hope that we end up with enough to do our last one. I think I'll just pull it back to about here though, tighten up just this part, and then see if that works. Okay, so we did end up definitely getting a lot, like, this is not nearly as clean as the previous layers. You can't really tell, thankfully, but yeah, getting your tension correct so that you end up hitting the color change at the right time is actually really hard. So, but I do like that there are no tails to weave in, so I don't know, maybe it's worth it. I'll make that decision when I'm done with the bag as a whole, not just one square. Anyways, let's finish this and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, I'll probably have to take out this whole row and do it with a tighter tension. There's no way I'm getting 2 more clusters out of that. Plus, I need to make sure I have enough of a tail to do the center of the next one and still be able to sew in the ends. So, I'm gonna take out the black, do it again, and hopefully we end up with enough. Okay, so we did manage it. And I've got enough now that we should be able to cut it off right at the color change and sew in the end. However, I will say, while I love the colors and the fact that there's 2 ends to sew, the amount of, I'm going to call it anxiety, that you get watching this freaking color change inch closer and closer and closer and closer to the square is kind of absurd. I am not sure how to counteract that. These first 2 rows worked up perfectly. I didn't have to worry about my tension. I didn't have to worry about doing anything. They just worked. This row and the subsequent rows felt like they were getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And I ended up having to go really tight on my tension for especially this last row. And because of that, it is kind of folding in on itself, which again, I could block them and that would solve a good portion of the issues. Being completely honest, I generally don't block anything. I just don't. But I am wondering if these would need to be, just because the tension is different for each row. Now, the other thing that I wanted to say was I don't think that I could change the tension on these beginning rows to match the outer rows, because then I would have too much of the inner rows when we went to switch. So yeah, I agree with a lot of the criticisms that I've heard so far about it being difficult to get the color changes correct. But I'm not sure if it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like, I like that the color changes, it does it on its own. But then I also sit there like, but is it worth the headache of trying to get your tension correct just so that you don't have to weave in ends? I don't know. I'm gonna finish off this skein and I will give you a further decision, I guess, once I've worked up the whole thing. So yeah, I will see you back here when I have 13 squares, and then we can lay them out and pick out our fabrics and stuff and decide how we want the bag to look and whether or not I think that this yarn is worth the headache for not needing to sew in ends. Alright, be back. Okay guys, so we did not finish the skein. I made what I needed, which kind of answers the question as to what do I think of this. The one thing I'll say is I like that I don't have to sew in ends for every color. That's great. Awesome. In theory, this is a great yarn. In practice, I hate it. I hate it. I really do. The amount of times I had to frog entire sections back because I had too much of a color, not enough of a color, was so infuriating that I would rather just sew in the ends. And it wasn't like my tension was crazy. That wasn't the issue. Like, I would try to maintain the exact same tension in one row, and the next row with that exact same tension, I would be short like 2 or 3 or more clusters. So I don't know. I don't like it. That's the easiest answer. I don't like it. I think there's way too much guesswork in like maintaining a square that actually works. and that kind of sucks. Now, maybe it's just this skein. I do have 4 more of these in different colors because they're pretty. Regardless of how much I hate them, they're pretty. So I will be finishing this skein. I will be making the other 4, and I will turn them all into these. So obviously this is beautiful. I have no complaints on the colors, the way they worked up. They all look beautiful and made into a bag. I love it. I think it's super cute. But I hated working this up. You would have seen already prior some of the issues I had. Those never went away. It wasn't like, oh, I got my tension right and then I could keep going and it was fine. It never fixed itself, no matter what. I would have one tension for one color and then I would have to completely change my tension for another color. It was all over the place. And that's what drove me crazy. I was getting like anxiety as I would watch the colors come out. So yeah, like as I would watch a color change, I would be sitting there looking at my square going, I don't think this is enough. Again. Which meant I needed to frog it all back and do it all again. And doing that for every single square was not worth the hassle. I think that just doing the color change naturally with multicolor, with like different colors of yarn is probably less stressful than trying to maintain this. It also meant that some of the squares were like tighter on the edges than they were in the centers, and it makes them kind of not lay nicely. But I don't know. At least it's pretty, right? At least it's pretty. So that is my take on this. I feel like it was a great concept, but because everybody makes their granny squares differently and everybody tends to have a different tension, I just think it's too specific to one type, like to how they thought everybody did a granny square, that it doesn't work universally for all crocheters. And honestly, I don't think you ever could make it work universally. Everybody's going to do it slightly different with slightly different tension. So if you don't mind frogging a lot and changing your tension and everything else, then go for it. I'd rather just, I don't know, do multicolored yarn in a square. I don't know. But anyways, that's all for me today. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Still trying to grow a channel, still trying to grow a small business, and your views really help out. So thanks everybody. Bye.